Welcome to the PHP Essential Training Series. I'm Mike King, your host, and in this tutorial we're going to look at the echo statement in PHP. The echo statement in PHP is a language construct that's part of the PHP scripting language. The echo statement can output one or more strings to your browser window or to your web application. And in more general terms, the echo statement can display anything that can be displayed in the browser window can actually be displayed through the PHP echo construct. Since the echo statement is a construct and not a function, you can use it without parentheses inside of PHP. But if you want to pass more than one parameter to the echo statement, the parameters must be enclosed in parentheses, and we'll demonstrate that as we go through the demonstrations in the lab. So let's drop into our development environment and demonstrate what we just talked about. Alright, so let's drop out of our presentation and drop into our development environment. First thing I want to do, let's go ahead and confirm that we've got our Apache server up and running, which it is. And I want to confirm or load my Sublime Text 3, which will be my text editor I'll be using for this demonstration. I'll be using my template.php file. And Google Chrome will be the browser that I'll be using for this demonstration. And you'll notice I'm already in my Echo folder inside my web browser, my local host. You may want to go ahead and set up an Echo folder if you're going to follow along. I hope you do. So the first thing we'll want to do, let me go ahead and do a save as on this template because I don't want to overwrite my template file. I'm just going to save this as echo.php so that we actually have a file to work with. And inside that Echo, I want to make sure I've got that Echo loaded up inside my browser window. So I'm working with the right file. I'm just going to go ahead and change my title to the echo statement or echo construct. And I'm going to come down into my body inside my div container, just put an H3 and just put in here that we'll be working with the echo statement in PHP. And close out that H3 tag. Go ahead and save that change, refresh the browser and make sure we're in the right file. And we are. Perfect. First thing I want to do is let's go ahead and demonstrate the echo statement in general, how it works in general. I'm just going to copy this from my text file so you don't have to watch me type it. But I'm going to come right below that H3 tag and I'm going to paste in a standard PHP echo statement. So all I'm going to do is display a string of text. You'll notice I've got it enclosed in my PHP opening and closing tags. And then I'm saying echo and then the text that I want displayed on my screen. If I save that change, refresh my browser window, you'll see that we can see that string of text inside my browser window. One thing I do want to point out, I'm using a CSS file in here and I have a couple generic settings that increases the font size and the font style, font type for this particular sheet. So these are not the browser defaults by any stretch of the imagination. I just did that so it's easier for you to read. But anyway, you can see here we've got my opening PHP tag, my closing PHP tag, and I've got this echo construct that actually displays a string of text onto my screen. HTML code can also be used inside the echo construct and is often used to dynamically form pages for our web applications. And if you've been around the site for any length of time, you'll notice that most of the information on OnTarget HTML5 is dynamically generated. My site has a lot of PHP code throughout the site that is dynamically generated from databases. And I do it very similar to what I'm showing you right here. Let me go ahead and grab this from my text file. Just going to go ahead again, copy this so you don't have to watch me type it. And you'll see here that I'm generating again with my echo statement, but this time not only am I using text, but I'm actually using tags in HTML. You'll notice I'm using my H4 tags, and then I'm actually doing some styling. So I'm using attributes and tags of HTML inside my echo statements, which are enclosed in quotation marks and end with a semicolon. Good. And so let's go ahead and save these changes to our file, refresh the browser window. So you'll see not only can PHP generate that code for the browser window, but can also distinguish between the HTML tags because it knows that that's an H4 tag. If I made that an H3, you'll notice that it's going to generate that or change that in size. Save the change, so not only can it differentiate between the tags, but it can actually differentiate between the attributes. So it understands what the attributes are, it understands what the tags are, it understands properties and values for CSS. Again, because it's setting this up as an HTML string inside the browser window, and the browser rendering engine knows how to interpret that string, since PHP can send it the tag styles as part of the text statement. So again, a lot of cool things you can do with this as you're generating dynamic sites. And you'll see as we move through further along through the tutorials, because I will do a lot of dynamic generation of content. One of the big things I want to do with our content, or with my content in the site, is to actually set up a tutorial on developing your own content management system. And that's coming up very soon. I do plan to have that thing posted here shortly. The real power of PHP scripting language comes in when we start to actually use variables and functions to generate our content, as you're going to see as you move forward through these tutorials. As you'll see as you work through the exercises in the PHP tutorials, there's a tremendous amount of power in the language as you begin to fully understand the capabilities of dynamic generation. Let me go ahead and demonstrate something here. Again, very simplistic demonstration I'm going to be using with this echo construct. But basically what I've done here is I've generated a few variables, and then I've displayed those values on the screen using the echo construct inside of PHP. The one point I want to kind of drive home here is that 99.9% of the time when we do this, we don't do it this way. We actually pull this information from a database. There's a back end where we're actually entering information into a database. PHP goes and reads that information from the database, brings it into the web content, and displays it. So just by keeping the database up to date, you can actually have brand new content on your site. Refresh those, you'll see that we've got this dynamic text, then I've got the value of the number, I've got the value of the array, and again, remember arrays are zero based. If you've gone through the array exercises were just a few tutorials ago, you know that this value 1 signifies we're going to be pulling out the green. If I put in the value of 2, we'd be pulling out the blue. And again, I'm pulling it from the dynamic generation of these variables. Very, very important concept of any programming language. Variables, functions, and arrays are the meat of the programming language. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you understand what the echo construct is in PHP. I think the next thing I'm going to do is the print construct, or the print statement in PHP, because they're similar, but they're different. They do different things. So I'll see you in the next tutorial.